let's chop this up a different way. Let me be the butcher for a second. The reason why all addictions, all of them, include a sector of self-harm, right? All addictions involve some sort of self-harm. Nobody is addicted to the high of an addiction. Whether it's a drug addict, a gambler, an alcoholic, doesn't matter. That is the placeholder. Every motherfucker who has some kind of addictive personality is addicted to the come down. And the reason for that is very simple. On the come down from any kind of high, that immense withdrawal and pain shields you from any kind of vulnerability and insecurity. And so the reason why addictions are very hard to break is because people love the feeling of wearing the invincibility cloak that comes with it. Because when you are obsessed with something, whether it's a substance, a drug, even if it's a psychological apparatus, what happens is when that's the only thing on your fucking mind, you no longer are phased by things that phase the common specimen. Do you understand? Someone who's in active addiction can get rejected and obliterated. Their wife can leave them. Their kids can fucking tell them to take a hike. Their fucking job, their boss can fire them. They don't give a fuck. They are not phased by ordinary life events that would rattle and get an ordinary person shook. And that is the addiction. It's that feeling of invulnerability, of just absolutely not caring and not giving a flying fuck about anything going on around you. Do you guys understand? And there's a lot of motherfuckers. I'm not even going to say a lot because that's a misnomer. There are every motherfucker who is thriving at the top of their field has one of these addictive tendencies. It's just some people know how to thread the needle. Some people know how to loop it into the tapestry and make it functional. Very few far between, though, are capable of doing this. So people rush towards pain. And that's ultimately what the function of pain is. The reason why, like you'll see people in your personal life constantly bang their head against the wall and do things over and over and over again repeatedly that cause them pain and anguish and torment. And it's only a head scratcher if you don't understand human nature. If you do understand human nature, you understand that when someone is engaging in self-harm behavior, it's a way of saying fuck you to everybody around them because they're in control of the pain. It's like, you can't hurt me anymore because no one can hurt me more than I hurt me. That's the basic function of addiction, pain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a good learning tool whatsoever. In fact, I would say the only lessons that you really learn in life are from the brush-ins. The moments where you brush up against lethal consequences and you make a last minute deke or a dodge and it just like grazes you. So those are the wake up calls typically for people. Typically. It's when it was just about to happen. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker on the backcountry road, swigging whiskey, drunk driving, who almost, but he's somewhat sentient still, but he almost blasts his car into a fucking pole and he swerves out of the way last second. That motherfucker might very well wake up the next day and have a reality check, even though there was no damage done. And then obviously the flip side of that coin is some people are emboldened by it. Some people are emboldened by the brush-ins. But pain itself is kind of the paradoxical nature of it is that it actually is what keeps everything together. Love is painful. The longest standing relationships on this earth, marriages, long-term relationships, name any relationship configuration in your wildest imagination, all of them, the linchpin ends up being that somebody, it's usually one party, and it's usually actually the female, is in tremendous agony for years and years and years and years. And that's actually what keeps the whole thing together. It's the pain. And the minute that everything's copacetic and nobody has any problems to address anymore, that's usually when relationships fall apart. That's how it works. So agony seems to be people's by far greatest addictions because you end up being in control of your pain. So nobody else can hurt you anymore. You know, and one of the reasons why this mechanism can propel certain personality types to the top is because some personalities understand that nobody on this planet, look, people walk around every day worrying about being screwed over, fucked over. People have trust issues. People are always worried about what the things that other people can do to harm them. But what the real winners understand is that every motherfucking thing that you're afraid that someone else could do to you, you actually have to do to yourself 100 times over in order to succeed. People don't understand the level that you have to royally screw yourself over in so many different scenarios to truly win. Like you're gonna have to walk away from a billion things that you love in life. You're gonna have to walk away from a million people that you love. Because just because you love it doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be inscrutable in that way. You have to be intolerable. And so a lot of people gravitate towards the things they love. And so they have no self integrity and no self respect. You got to be willing to walk away from almost anything at any given fucking time. That's the reality. I have fumbled the most beautiful opportunities of my life intentionally and had to just suck wind and stomach it because it was maybe financially productive or maybe emotionally productive, but I knew that it wasn't the best thing for me. I'm the master at walking away. When shit don't work for me, I'm walking. I'm walking. And I'll suffer and I'll be in misery for as long as I need to until the right opportunity comes. And that is a hallmark trait of everybody who's able to break out of the middle. It's a hallmark trait, hallmark feature. And there ain't no two ways about that. This is going to be a hodgepodge of shit. I saw this tweet earlier, made me chuckle. This page, Uptown MMA, I think. There's a video of a bald warrior looking motherfucker with cauliflower ear, jiu-jitsu artist. And in the video, he's got someone in a rear naked choke, like some random civilian on the floor in a restaurant. And people are trying to intervene. People are trying to break up the fight. And he's on the floor scrapping with this guy. And he proudly announces while he's got this guy in a rear naked choke, he's like, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Everybody back up. I got this handled. And then afterwards, when the guy is fully subdued and apparently knocked unconscious, he gets on him in a full mount and someone flips open the camera and he tells the story while he's sitting on top of this guy. And this guy is totally restrained. And it was funny because very few people would see that video and understand that, like, you could literally see this guy was beaming when he was telling the story. That he's been waiting his entire life to put a motherfucker in an anaconda choke. You could tell. This was like his defining moment. Like he had been training probably for 20 years and he had been waiting subconsciously for this opportunity to throw someone in one of these fucking moves. And he was just so like proud and prideful. And then I started really thinking about it for a second and it started hitting me. I was like, damn, these MMA guys, all these tough guys actually get picked on quite a bit. You wouldn't think so on this when you look at tough guys, warriors, fighters and shit. They're always getting into shit. They are literally like flies on shit. They are always attracting riffraff. I remember Donald Cerrone in the UFC used to go on fucking IG Live and he would talk about how every time he goes in public, Motherfuckers are flipping him off, starting shit, trying to start a brawl with him. And these guys look tough. They look rugged. And it's just funny to me because it's one of those hurdles in the middle that I think is a litmus test, that kind of plagues the lower socioeconomic classes. I think having those types of skills are fucking wonderful if you're breaded, but it goes back to that whole adage of like, if you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail to you. And like, if you're a likable guy, I know so many likable guys who are just built like fucking noodles, literally built like glass noodles, and they don't ever, ever get in any kind of confrontations like this. It's only the guys who are like well practiced and well marshaled in these arts that are always getting into this type of shit. And so then it begs the question, it's like, are these guys seeking this out? It's 100% the case. They subconsciously they're seeking this type of shit out, right? It's like everything that you look for in life, you're gonna find a way to see it. And so it just boggles my mind because I also think it's a sideways way of also signaling status. If you don't have your bread up and you don't have bitches, then I think one of the clear cut ways to signal status is to start fucking putting motherfuckers in Kimoras on the streets. Some kind of way to like showcase dominance in the hierarchy. And it's just one of those things where it's like you look at some of the stuff that goes on in this current culture, and it's so prevalent. People getting bogged down by these are fucking, this is some of the dumbest fucking shit that you can get involved in. Like, you are winning if you've gone 20 plus years in your life and you're building something and you're on the path and you've never had to deal with any kind of those confrontations. I've been out into some of the seediest places in the fucking world. Nobody's ever challenged me like that before, ever. And I've been around some definitely strange, wily, cracked out motherfuckers. So it just leads you to the conclusion that, you don't have the gift of gab, you don't have the silver tongue, you can't communicate. Most people de-escalate when there's hostility in public with a stranger. Most people talk their way out of it. It seems like these MMA motherfuckers are talking their way into it, talking their way into shit so they can exhibit all these fucking fancy moves they've been working on. And that's a trap that I truly believe keeps you very poor. If you're poor as fuck and your first thing in your head is, well, I don't have money, I don't have a name for myself, let me go be a tough guy. Let me go train MMA and learn how to defend myself. You're literally playing the game so fucking incorrectly. Like, you should be high hurdling all those bullshit steps. Phantasmagoric waste of time. If you're not breaded, if you're breaded, go have fun with it. Go turn yourself into a fucking monster. Go box. Go learn to be a machine. But I think if you're in those low socioeconomic states, and what happens is you don't have the money to compete with other people. So basically, you're just going to start leading with your fists. You're just going to start thinking that the only way you can break out of the middle or get some bread is to start smashing things with your fists. And that's just going to keep you in those same poor neighborhoods, those same low vibrational fucking venues where that type of shit happens. The smart motherfuckers are swerving around the riffraff left and right. You know what I'm saying? The best MMA, the best self-defense is actually just putting yourself in fucking good environments. That's the God's honest fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no business being in 7-Eleven in the fucking boonies if you don't have to be. Go to the fucking 5-star lobby where people act like civilians. Shit's fucking common sense to me. Now, I'll give you guys a story that I think will be widely applicable to anyone who's dealt with any kind of relationship stuff. And obviously, I'm going to protect this guy's identity, but I had someone that I mentor reach out to me. And he's super green. He's super young. I think he's 18 years old. and he's got his first love, and this dude's a baller. He's got wealthy parents. He's extremely high status. He has access to his parents' money, and he met a villager, a female counterpart who's a villager, very low status, lives in a very janky, lowly um, part of town. And so, she kind of revered this guy as a god when they hit it off. But basically, what he revealed to me was that apparently they had been together for 6 months, and they both lost their virginity with one another. And this girl had a guy friend, a male friend that I guess she was spending a lot of time with during the course of the relationship. And this dude is one of these guys who was fucking besmirched by the fucking red pill stuff, the red pill manuals. He kind of got caught in that trap of he didn't want to look jealous, he didn't want to look insecure, so he just kept brushing it off his shoulders. But it was eating him alive. He was literally infuriated every day that his girl would send him. She would send him like what she thought were fucking cutesy videos of her and this guy like playing with puppies and just like goofing around. Now I saw the guy. He does look like a faggot. Like when he told me this story, there was no part of me that actually believed that she was doing anything with this guy at all. But that shit don't fly. Like we all know that shit don't fly in a serious relationship. Women aren't out there fucking hanging out with platonic male friends. Somebody wants more. Let's be real. Somebody always wants more. And so this shit was just fucking bubonic plague, and it was eating him alive. And he kind of brushed it off. And then one day he opened up to me and he told me about the story, and he was asking me how to handle it. And I am very, very weary of zipping people to the top of the mountain and skipping them steps, because the reality is I do have the wherewithal. Like I could have crafted him the perfect fucking way to talk to her. I could have literally walked him hand to hand on how to handle it and get his power back if I wanted to, and he executed everything that I told him to do. But I'm not really a believer in that, because I think when you're at your first love and you're in those stages where you're so green, you can't be so overpowered. Like my wisdom, my experience ain't gonna really fucking help a guy like that. But what I could do is I could help him mentally secure himself, because he just ain't ready. He's gonna fucking execute my ideas, and it's way too strong. It's so overpowered for him. He's gonna find a way to fuck it up. And so that's exactly what happened. And he kept telling me, he's like, look, dude, I don't really want to tell this girl that she can't hang out with this guy anymore, because I am afraid she's gonna think I'm insecure. And I said, listen, that's that was never a card in the first place. You never, ever, ever make a demand like that to a woman. All right? Ever. And the reason is because when you give a woman an ultimatum, because this was his idea. He was like, Brood, I'm just gonna fucking call her and I'm gonna say, listen, you make a choice now. It's either him or it's me, and or I'm walking. And you never, ever, ever drop ultimatums on women. And the reason is very simple. If a woman makes a pact with you based on a threat that you gave her, and you get her to comply based on a threat, okay? Understand this. What a woman will do is, now she has that fucking ace of hearts tucked away. Anytime you exhibit behavior that she finds disrespectful, or anytime she thinks you broke the pact invisibly, she's going to immediately revert back to that behavior to punish you. So you never actually get a woman to submit or comply by doing the Samson option, by dropping the nuclear armistice on her. That shit does not fucking work. The reverse psychology play there is the only option that he truly had was to frame it from the perspective of, I do not give my time and exclusivity to women who make me look stupid in public. You guys understand the reframe there? Because that's ultimately what that is. If you're in a relationship with a woman and she's around town gallivanting with another dude, she's making you look like a fucking fool. There's just no way to slice or dice. She's making you look like a fucking idiot. Like you have zero control over your relationship. It's open, naked disrespect is what it is. And so that's what it looks like to other people. And look, I'll tell you right now, a woman's only job when a woman is with you, a woman has one job in a relationship, just one. And it's very simple. A woman's job is to make you look like an emperor to everybody around you. That's a woman's job. Woman's supposed to prop you up and make you look like a fucking god everywhere you go and never make you look like a fool to anybody. That's it. If you're with a woman who makes you look stupid, makes you look foolish, makes you look like a clown to the people around you, it's game over for you. You're already on borrowed time. That relationship has been way over, beyond over. So he drops that line, and she actually rationally understood what he was saying. And then here was the problem. Because he's in that green stage of really not a lot of life experience, this is his first girl, there's a lot of insecurity from both parties. The girl's insecure, he's insecure, they're insecure for different reasons, right? But what happened is he decided to play the bluff card, and he was like, look, the disrespect has already been done, the damage is done in this relationship, we're done. He's like, I'm walking, I'm never gonna talk to you again, goodbye. And he fucking hung up the phone and told her not to contact him again. Now, when he told me that he did this, I knew this motherfucker was in for maximum pain, because it's a bluff. He wasn't ready to do that. He wanted the validation of her running back and chasing. And by the way, this girl didn't do that at all. Like, he shut her down and she came back guns blazing. It was like, all right, fuck you. We're done. Peace. Hung up the phone. So he made a validation play, got his fucking clocks rung, didn't get the validation he was looking for. And now he's in a fucking free fall death spiral because he's fucked. Once you walk like that, you can't come back. There is absolutely no coming back. She has to chase him down now and be the one to generate the idea that she doesn't want to kick it with this other guy anymore. Do you guys understand the psychological difference that if a woman comes to the conclusion on her own free will that I'm not going to chill with this guy anymore, as opposed to I'm not going to chill with this guy anymore because I made a pact with you? One is flimsy and one is ironclad. If she comes up with the idea on her own, if she chases him back down and re-enters the relationship and she came up with the idea that she doesn't want to fucking hang out with this dude anymore, it's ironclad. She doesn't feel like she has anything over on him anymore if things go sideways. Do you understand? Because it was her idea. So that's the fucking psychological reframe. And so those of you that are advanced know how this story ends. This motherfucker makes it 3 days, 72 hours, and folds his cards and fucking, because she didn't make a peep. He expected her to come running back and make all these provisions and restructure the relationship, and she didn't do that at all. So he folded, reaches back out to her, and basically starts begging for her back. And this is a very smart guy, by the way. One of the smartest 18-year-olds I've ever personally spoke to. Intellectually very capable. Emotionally, though, the intelligence of a 5-year-old. And so by him reaching back out, segues perfectly into what I just told you motherfuckers about pain. He was intentionally inflicting pain on himself and wanted to fuck it up so bad so that he had the closure of knowing, like, I fucked this up so bad now. I damaged it by begging for her back. Now I have no dignity. I have no pride. I have no self-respect. That he thought that he was going to be able to heal faster. So he just fucking quadrupled down on the fucking pain and was like, fuck it. I can't sit here and wait 1, 2, 3 weeks, because I'll tell you this, she was coming back. There is zero doubt in my mind when he walked away, if he just stood on his britches and did absolutely nothing, she's coming back. She's coming back with a vengeance. Goes back to my point about how the hardest thing to do in life is sit still and do nothing. Sure enough, he intervened and got fucking rocked again. And then she started to play with her food, as expected. She started making snide remarks, fucking chopping him down, giving him zero validation, and this dude just went into a complete fucking full blown heartbreak because he lost all his power overnight. It's incredible how you can build a persona with a woman for as long as you want, but the minute they hack your system, the minute they sniff out just for a millisecond that you've been pretending, it is incredible how fast they can fucking get so fucking grossed out by you. And that's exactly what happened with him. He was playing the aristocrat card the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Driving around town, taking her to fancy dinner, showing her a better life. He lost all that. He donated all that away in a fucking 20 minutes. 6 months to build it, 20 minutes to fucking incinerate it into ash. And he did it on purpose. Sabotaged the fuck out of it. Which I think is a good thing, by the way, personally. Because once you know something's over, and this thing was toast. Like when he started reaching back out to her and basically rescinding like his initial reason for leaving, it was over. It was toast. So I don't really have an issue with someone being a mad scientist and then going and tinkering with it and exploring around and putting about and trying to figure out, all right, it's over anyway. So let me just go deep into the psychology of it. Maybe there's some lessons in there. I have no issue with it. I don't think he should beat himself up. But it's amazing to me how when people feel like they're about to be abandoned by somebody, they will do everything in their power to make sure they're the ones who fuck it up or abandon you first to be in control of the pain. There's the tie-in. This is like one of the most normal, well-adjusted, disciplined motherfuckers I've ever met. He's super fucking disciplined, engineer type brain, not really a crazy risk taker, not really geared towards chaos, super fucking rational in his thinking. But boy, that broken heart will terrorize you that first time. That first fucking time. You know, there's a quote by I believe Hemingway. It's one of my favorite quotes. I've never really discussed it. I think it's kind of hidden in the underbelly. I've never really even seen this shit float on Twitter. But one of my favorite Hemingway quotes is he said something like, life breaks almost everybody. And the ones that allow it to break them are the fortunate ones. Because when life breaks you, you grow back stronger in the places that you were broken. But he goes, on the flip side to this, he goes, the unfortunate ones are the ones who never get broken by life because life kills them instead. If you never allow life to break you, you get killed instead. There's a lot of meaning in that. And so this dude, you know, is going to have to mend his heart and he's going to have to fucking figure it out. But what's funny about heartbreak is the phenomenon of heartbreak in general. It doesn't even have to be from a woman. I mean, there's a lot of variations of heartbreak. You can have heartbreak in business. You can have heartbreak in chasing a goal that you're obsessed with that you failed at. You know, there's Olympic people who are competing in the Olympics who get their heart broken when they win the silver medal. There's a lot of different variations of genuine heartbreak that leave you, you know, appetiteless and leave you with this sort of fastidious compulsion to just sit around and languish. And the basic phenomenon of heartbreak is that it shrinks your world into a tiny little snow globe. And that's the problem. Is like when your heart is broken, your world shrinks down so small that you convince yourself that this one thing that you couldn't get is the only thing available to you in the whole world. And that's why it's so painful because you can't see how humongous the world around you really is. And that's that reflex reaction to protect yourself. And so that's what this motherfucker has to go through right now. I'm going to bring up some questions while I let up the cig. Yo, Kang. Okay. What's up, buddy? Yo, Kang. 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 What's up, bud
Yo, sorry. Yeah, you, you got me up in the screen. What's going on? What's going on? Uh, hey, I just believe you guys. Hey, believe in yourselves. That's all. What it says. You got on the spotlight for no reason.
Just got a flurry of questions up here. Yo, Max, what's up, bro?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so I had a question about being an influential person.
Hmm.
Like, obviously, a lot of people in here probably have found themselves giving a lot of advice to people. And I've had many times in my life where I give someone some advice and I don't even remember what I said, but it sticks with them and they end up fucking their life up. And then they come back to me and they're like, "You told me this and I did this." And I'm just like, I don't know, you know? Makes me feel like I want to keep to myself sometimes.
Yeah, this is
I
a
don't know.
good topic. It's a good topic, man. I see people use this insurance policy all the time. There's a lot of people that I know that don't have the balls to make their own decisions, but they do have the balls to ride the coattails of other people's decisions. It's basically like stolen valor in a way. It's like borrowed wisdom. Because if they fail and they followed your advice, they can pin the tail on the donkey. And people love that kind of abdication. People love to fucking prevaricate and kind of swerve from the truth on that. And then they can give you shit endlessly and kind of take it out on you. I know a bunch of people who literally cannot make big moves solo, cannot, incapable. But if they see that somebody else is on fire and has some crazy conviction, they'll take a stab at it. And then when it doesn't go right, they just start fucking bombing on you and unloading. And it's a symptom for everything else that's fucked up in their life. I've never been that guy. I've never been that type of guy ever. But I've seen people do this. People do this shit all the time. Let me tell you something too, which is kind of a tie-in to what you just said in the beginning, which is like an interesting facet to this. The people who give the best advice, the people who spit the most truth, this is myself included, have the reason why some people are really able to clasp onto the truth so well and give such good wisdom is because they could never actually do it for themselves. And that's the tragedy of the artist. If you look at any health guru community, you can see this glaring in your face. Look at all the guys, all the health gurus who started all these vast sweeping movements. Ray Pete, look at the fucking Atkins guy. Look at all these motherfuckers who were avant-garde and transformed the health industry. They all look like shit. All of them look unhealthy. They look skeletal. They look decrepit. They look fucking zombified. They look fucked up. Not. I've literally never seen one health guru, and when I say health guru, I mean the actual progenitor of it, like the guy who started the movement, look insanely vital and healthy themselves. And the reason for that is what I just said. Oftentimes, the people that chance upon the most striking truths, the reason they were able to capture that is because they could never actually actualize it for themselves. And that is the tragedy of almost every great figure throughout history, is they always have trouble actualizing their own amazing advice, which is why paradoxically they're able to have such good advice, because it's something they struggle with themselves. And so, I would keep that in mind whenever you're bearing advice to other people. The funny thing is most of these shows that I do are soliloquies. They're just monologues. I'm here talking shit. I'm sharing little abodes of wisdom that I've collected along the way. At no point in time have I ever given someone a fucking prescription on here. I don't tell people what to do. I'm talking to me, and people fucking misappropriate this shit and fucking will take. I don't know where the fuck they get this advice from, but it goes back to what I just said. It's people love to do trial runs with other people's convictions. So when it doesn't work out, they can just fucking try to pit all the blame on you. And I don't play that game. That shit does not fly with me.
Yeah, great points.
Let me pull up another question.
Thank you.
Of course. Yo, Zio.
Yo, bro, do you hear me?
I got you.
I got you. When it comes to the mission and you got your whole family on your back, and you're going so fucking fast, like you're tearing shit up on the way. How do you keep the flow going? Like, do you got some raw wisdom on that
How
to
to keep
keep the
those?
momentum?
Yeah. So let me tell you something, brother. And I think this is something that everybody in this show can probably find some solace in. When you're on the mission and you're cruising at the altitude that you're talking about, or that velocity, there is one central feature of all high performers that are kind of ubiquitous, and one of those things is that I've noticed that every high performer exclusively has the ability to perform in a vacuum. In a vacuum, which means, let me put it in rudimentary terms. It's like having an account with 200,000 followers on Twitter, and the guy tweets like he only has 2 followers. It's like Djokovic being in a Grand Slam, the biggest tennis tournament of his career, and the other guy has match point, and he returns the next serve as if it's a ball machine on a practice court, casually just swinging the ball back. All high performers have an ability to not feel the gravity of the moment. And that is a central feature of anybody who is the best at what they do, is they simply are unable to feel the weight and the gravity and the tremendous pressure of the moment itself. Trump is a master at this. A lot of people are masters at this. They're in a vacuum. Every artist is in a vacuum. When people get on stage in front of thousands of people, they're talking like they're just having a conversation with their best friend in their living room. They have completely blocked out the noise and they don't understand the impact or the weight of the moment itself. So when you got your family on your back and you have all this pressure, the best the best of the best are going to be able to fucking seal themselves into a vacuum and block all that out and perform regardless. One of the things, and the beauty of that is you're gonna, like you said, they're on your back. You got people probably fucking chirping in your ear, telling you to take a different course of direction, shit like that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, man. I think a lot of people don't even understand why they feel such immense attraction to high performers. Like if you ask the average person who was a fucking Kobe Bryant fan, for example, why did you like Kobe? What was it about Kobe that you liked? Some people would say killer instinct. Some people would say I've never seen, a mindset like that. Some people would say some fucking bullshit kind of vanilla envelope answer. But I think what most people like those types of guys for, and they don't even viscerally understand it, is that a guy like Kobe Bryant, what made him so good, what made him so fucking great, is that he could take horrible shots, objectively terrible, terrible, terrible shots on the court, that if any other player took that shot, they're getting the back of their fucking jersey yanked and they're getting sent to the fucking bench and they might even be clapped from the fucking team. But Kobe had an ability to take objectively wretched shots and they would go in. And when a guy's taking terrible shots and he keeps sinking them and keeps flushing them in the fucking bucket, nobody can say anything. You know what I'm saying? And so he had that aura, and that's why he was heralded as one of the greats, because he could take horrible shots. Steph Curry's like that. Steph Curry takes objectively disgusting shots, but they go in. So everyone shuts the fuck up. You can't say anything to a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? He's breaking all the rules. He's playing unorthodox. He definitely ain't taking high percentage shots, but for him, they are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're
Mm.
in the mission and you're strapped in like that, you're gonna take terrible shots. You're gonna be making horrible moves that are objectively bad. But the best of the best take those shots with the conviction like it's a good shot. And they block out the fucking noise. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's one of these things that comes with experience and maturity is you kind of go a little bit numb, you kind of get a little bit arthritic in your mind a little bit. You do get sort of this rheumatoid arthritis that really does kind of help you block out everything going on. And that is literally, I think, the key to success in every fucking domain is these guys do not even understand the realm that they're in. And I'll give you a great example of this. There's a lot of athletes that fuck with my work. A lot of athletes in my DMs and shit that are like on their way to going pro. I talk to a lot of pros, and there's a common theme that I've seen, a common motif that I find very fascinating, and that's that there's a lot of guys who on paper are talented enough to make it to the big leagues. Like they could play at the highest levels. They can hang there with anybody. But there's something in them at the last moment that just doesn't get over the hump. And these people are baffled by this. There's guys who are so fucking athletic, so fast. They can dunk, they can play multi-cross sports. They have the talent to play with the best, but they just never make it to the league. And I figured it out. I know exactly what's happening there. These guys are, there's something in their unconscious for whatever reason. Ordinary people have like a governor chip in their mind. You can almost see it as like a braking system where once you get the awareness that you're playing with the big dogs, you know what I'm saying, and you're in that dog fight in the skies, there's a kind of a governor chip that kicks in and slams the brakes on you and kind of pulls you back to reality. And the guys who are in the NFL, the guys who are in the NBA, I mean, this doesn't just apply to sports, it applies to really any field. But the guys that really fucking make it and are deserving of it, for whatever reason, they don't have that module installed in their brain. They genuinely don't have that braking system. And the reason you know this is true is I want you to envision this for a second. I'm going to give you an outrageous example. Imagine you are on a racetrack and there is a zebra right next to you on a racetrack. All right. And your job is to run a full blown, full charge blitzkrieg sprint. You're racing a zebra. Now, different archetypes are psychologically, before that race begins, going to respond to this in very different ways. Some guys, when they line up against the zebra, they know the futility of it. They know how stupid and outrageous. They know they're going to get smoked, right? A zebra's going to smoke any human being, period. But there's some motherfuckers who are going to be completely defeated before they even get off the line. And they're going to try. And when the fucking pistol shoots into the air and the fucking, you know what I'm saying, it's time to start the race, they're going to give it a 50% effort, but they already quit. They were blown out in the beginning. Then there's some motherfuckers who are gonna run as fast as they motherfucking can. Something in their body is not gonna be overridden by the defeat, the psychological defeat of racing an animal that's faster than you. Right? There's some like delusion that maybe they can keep it close, maybe they can even beat this thing if the thing's having a bad day. Some motherfuckers are under that kind of disillusion. And their body is actually going to put on a pretty fucking solid performance given the circumstances. But here's the thing, 99% of people, even if they have the correct mental model that they still need to give it their all, there's some point in that race where you see the zebra so far ahead of you and you just know you have no chance. That braking system in your head is going to turn on and you're just not going to fucking give it that last burst that's needed to finish anything to its conclusion. Everybody's going to respond differently to that type of situation. But here's the deal. The people in the NFL, the people in the NBA, the people at the top of any field, they are the zebra. They are the fucking zebra. And so I think when people get into the battle station and they get into that battle stance where they actually have to perform against these guys, they've mythologized these animals, so to speak, so much that there's something in their head that will constantly pull them back because they don't feel like they deserve to be there.
Hmm.
And so
So,
in
Andrew,
your situation specifically, you know, because I understand, I know the fucking gravitas. I understand how cumbersome it can be to have family chirping in your ear, people on your back trying to get you to change directions. Those people oftentimes know all the dials and switches in your system, and they know how to flick what kind of dials that are going to turn on that fucking braking system. And so there's something in you that can fake yourself out and psych yourself out and turn that thing on. And now you're in a permanent state of when you try to thrust out or you try to give anything a huge gust of energy, you're fucked because you got the emergency brake on. This is literally what separates the men from the boys in any field, is that everybody kind of, especially in America, because America is unique in the sense that most people here relatively get one glory run. Everybody in America gets at least one monumental glory run where you have the Midas touch and everything you fucking touch turns to gold. Everything. Everybody's gonna get one of those here. And the ones who fuck it up and are never able to get back to that summit are the ones who get that awareness once they're cruising at the altitude that fuck it, I can't be up here. It's too scary up here. And they end up falling back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Like a Zeppelin. They're just a Zeppelin. There's a
Yeah.
Zeppelin that gets shot out of the sky. This is also why I said as a man that everything that you gain on the horizontal plane in life as a man, meaning who you were as a child, who you were as a teenager, the fragility of you, the insecurities, the woes, the grief that you had, how far you travel and evolve away from that person that you once were, that pedometer, those steps that register on the pedometer can never be taken away from you. Men make all their gains on the horizontal plane. Anything that you can get as a man from ascending vertically up to the sky, money, status, power, jockeying for positions, capturing somebody else's position, overthrowing a company, that type of shit. That's all the shit that's ephemeral and can be taken away from you. But all the steps that you make on the ground as a man, meaning evolution, nobody can ever take that away from you. People can take away your money. People can take away your social status. People can take away your position. People can take away your career. You can lose all that. But you can't lose courage. You can't lose honor. You can't lose character. You can't lose everything that you gained through immense pain and suffering. Nobody can take that from you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as a man, I think it's important to stay horizontal because that's where all the treasure is anyway. Everything that you get from going outward from who you were. And I think evolution and change, people have a very hard time differentiating the two. Evolution is something that just happens naturally through life experience. You're just naturally going to evolve, and the insecurities and the things that used to bug you, you're going to grow out of by osmosis. Change is the deadly one because the hardest thing to do as a man, and I'll tell you this right now, is when you are in a pinch or you're in a rut or things aren't working for you, the first knee-jerk reaction for every man is, fuck, I got to change my approach. I got to change my strategy. I got to change my outlook. I got to change this about me. I got to change that about me. Biggest motherfucking mistake you can make in your life. The correct answer is to never change a goddamn motherfucking thing. Sit pretty. You don't ever have to change a goddamn thing about yourself, even if it ain't working. Even if it ain't working, because variance, nature's a dice roller. All right? Nature's a fucking crapshooter. Like a technique that you're using that might fail 100 fucking times, I promise you're gonna get a golden age where that shit'll work like 150 times in a row. You doing the exact same thing didn't change a goddamn thing about yourself. Now all of a sudden things are clicking. You understand? Most of life is about luck and opportunity. The opportunism has to be there. And usually that's the problem. Is you're just taking shots too early, you're taking it in a time period where the timing ain't right. And so people masturbate religiously over these little changing protocols when it's like, dude, the whole time all you had to do was just keep being you. You never had to fucking fix a thing. And then when what you're doing does work out, you are gonna quantum leap. You're gonna leave every motherfucker in the dust because a portal's gonna open for you eventually. Portal's gonna open for you eventually. And that's the hard part is when things aren't working, everybody starts looking in the mirror going, all right, what can I change about myself? That's incorrect. Evolution is what you want, not change. Evolution is you stayed who you are, but you're the stronger, more powerful version of that same thing. Two very, very, very different things here. Because the changing thing, look, I'll tell you this right now, bro. There is some fucking bullshit on Twitter that I see everywhere, and it's a new age trope that caught wind for whatever reason that people say all the time that you can control your thoughts. Fuck out of here. Your mind is the most uncooperative son of a bitch on the planet. There is no motherfucker out there who can control their thoughts. Yeah, you can make a project out of it, and you could control your thinking for a couple days in a row, maybe. But you would have to sit there 24 hours a day, monitoring yourself, deputizing that, marshaling that. The second you take your eye off the fucking ball, your thoughts are going to be chaotic again. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is not one of those things that you want to be brokering deals with. And that's the problem is when most people do want to change a behavior or cut out a habit or change direction in life, they try to make deals with their mind. And you're going to lose every single one of those deals. Promise you. It's best just to yield to it and let it do its fucking job. And so that's like another huge crisis that people go through is people are manufacturing a fake victory out of that. You know what I'm saying? Sitting there 24 hours a day and manipulating your thoughts and controlling the way you think in the direction you think is fucking retarded. What are you accomplishing from that? You're feeling good. You're feeling euphoria. You're bringing yourself some joy and happiness out of that. Okay, good for you. But what does that actually achieve? Goddamn nothing. Because the minute, like I said, the minute you stop monitoring those thoughts, you're back in a fucking Category 5 hurricane again. So what the fuck's the point? Just to prove some sort of self-control and self-discipline? That ain't the fucking answer. The answer is to remain true to your nature at all times and let your nature guide you as your compass. The fucking prefrontal cortex is a tiny gay ass little compass. You just have to check it every so often. You know what I'm saying? Check in a little bit every couple of days. Am I on the right track? Cool, done. That's it. So no one's out here fucking controlling their thoughts. And you are literally under one of the biggest disillusionments of all time if you really believe that you're one of these people. Fuck out of here with that shit. Anyone who's been in the game for long enough knows that is literally not a feature of human life. You're wasting your fucking time. The mind is supposed to be chaotic. It's supposed to be chaotic. You're supposed, like 99% of your thoughts are supposed to be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But like good ideas are just a needle in the haystack. Eventually, if you just let your mind run 24/7 on the clock and you just kind of pay attention, laugh at it here and there, you're gonna get a gem. Gems do fall from the sky, rubies and topazes and shit. Yeah, of course. Aladdin's cave is in there. You're definitely going to chance upon some good wisdom, some good knowledge, and some good direction. But it's so few far between, and it's going to come naturally. You're just going to know it when you feel it or when you think it. So, no, I'm not one of these motherfuckers who advises like plundering and pillaging your mind to try to find the best ideas. Stupid. Anyway, thank you, brother. Keep it moving. What's up? Yo, Jamil. What's up? Yeah, what's up, bro?
How you doing? I haven't been here majority of the spaces, so my question's a little unrelated. Is that all right?
Go for it.
All right. So, really, I was in Manhattan the last couple of fucking days, and I realized how fucking true that little audio you did. It's literally the worst fucking city of America. But the question that I've been mulling around in my fucking head for the longest time recently is how these fucking seemingly NPC fucking people have like almost heroic missions of their own. And I don't know if this is just a retarded idea that popped into my head, but it feels like it's fucking true. Like even somebody as NPC as like a gas station clerk or somebody with their little hole in the wall business can have some sort of heroic mission even though it doesn't seem that way. Does that like make any sense? Or am I
100%.
completely losing it here?
No, 100%, dude. New York City is like a centipede. It is
Yeah.
like it is like a centipede. It's like a
It's
very
like a very
there's nobody who, yo, you want to turn your audio off, brother? I'm echoing.
yeah, of course.
It's a centipede, man. It's everyone who takes a step is kind of moving the whole body of New York City forward. I'll tell you something. New York City is one of those interesting landscapes where it's a kingless city. You know, there's emperors, there's king. You could be the king of LA, you could be the king of San Francisco. There ain't no king in New York City. There ain't enough money. There ain't no billions, trillions. There is no king in fucking New York City. It's one of those cities that is so fucking. It's like Jumanji. It is fucking Jumanji. And so like I said, it is kind of a fucking communal city. Every motherfucker, even the guy doing fucking heroin under the fucking rafters behind the fucking Chinese restaurant, that motherfucker is still kinetically kind of part of like the flow of energy and shit popping over there. You know, I did badmouth New York, but I have like a fondness to it at the same time, man. I like it. I do like it. There's something charming about it in a different way, but it's one of those things I would just visit. There's 0% chance I could fucking live in New York City long term.
Yeah, 100%. It's too much of a fucking cesspit, and there's no fucking nature. It really just is a human pig pen. But the thing that's like, I feel just relevant to my question in terms of the whole New York City thing is that you'll see a motherfucker on the subway standing, and it's the most unassuming character you'd ever see in your life. It's not eccentric. This guy doesn't have anything that distinguishes him from the crowd. He is not a peacock. He's just a fucking pigeon among pigeons. But there's still this fucking morsel of game that he's carrying around, and the fact, he's on his phone, and even though there's not going to be this worldly significance where the shit that he's going to do is going to impact other people, but within his own world, his own fucking motley crew of characters that are in his life, there's some sort of empire that he's building. And even like some schizophrenic, like rambling and raving that's just living till the next pack of cigarettes, in that guy's mind, he has this empire that he's building within the philosophical rants that he's talking to himself, like muttering to himself under a bus stop bench. You know what I mean?
100%, man. That's a great point. Look, everybody's gonna score in New York City. That's the crazy thing about that city, and specifically is like you just said, in drifter, flaneur, crackhead motherfucker roaming the fucking streets can literally pull a fucking dime piece in New York City. It's one of those cities where everything is just so asymmetric and so fractured and so cracked and so jagged. Like the law of physics just don't apply there. It's a lottery system in New York City. Like you can literally climb higher and fall lower than ever before in New York City. You know what I'm saying? One day you could be fucking at the top of the penthouse eating fucking sushi at the fucking Waldorf. Next day you're fucking playing Plinko cards under a fucking bridge. It's just one of those cities where you can fucking make it, break it like 10 times in a fucking week and have resurrections. It's a very interesting place to that regard. But like you said, because of the bustle and because of the sheer speed that people, because bro, the difference between New York City and LA, which is it's just how fast everything is in New York. Everybody's got something to do. Everyone's moving somewhere, subway, train station. Everyone's got fucking plans. Everyone's just fucking running around, doing shit, making appointments. LA's the opposite. It's literally you have speed in that New York. The beauty of it is you can swing, you can take punches way above your weight and land strikes there. I said, like you can literally get the most fucking nondescript ordinary vanilla plain motherfucker swinging fucking punches at tens there and he can bag a baddie because people are just so fucking people are moving so fucking quickly they miss opportunities there. It's just whizzing by your head at every sheer second. So that's the fucking hilarious part, man, is like you will see the biggest contrast there. You will see the ugliest, most mangled, decrepit looking motherfuckers like that little fucking midget from 300. You'll see that dude with a dime at like some diner in New York City. Crazy.
100%. It's like it's
It's
the
fucking
lottery for
crazy, bro.
nobody. Like, I think it's hilarious. You see, like, these people, like, just insane. You know how you talk about the rainforest economy where you set up for yourself, where you could burn all of your fucking possessions, all of your sustenance, and have nothing to work on, and that's how the ideal dynamic of life is for a man, just being able to lose everything or being able to gain everything. It's like that facilitated rainforest environment in New York where everybody has the opportunity to be a nobody that shoots to a fucking somebody, and then it just gets washed away into oblivion. Those 12 days of fortune that they had is just in the shitter, and that's universal.
100%, dude. 100%. You're literally swinging from fucking liana to liana in New York. And sometimes you're going to be fucking in a groove and sometimes you're going to miss and hit the ground and have to get back on the horse again. It's crazy like that. I mean, it is probably the most entropic city in America for sure. The vast swings. I mean, bro, we got fucking Wall Street there. So those motherfuckers are suicidal and euphoric like 20 times in a day. I mean, and that's like the centrifuge of New York. That's like the fucking blood transfusion happening right there in the heart of the city. And those guys, those power players, are going through immense fucking swings and trades and numbers on their bank account or fucking flipping from cipher to cipher. So yeah, man, of course. It's it's just hard to fucking be in that environment for a long time if you fucking like the sun, man.
100
It's fucking
fucking
crazy.
percent.
Step on the fucking street at 9 a.m., bro. You look like you're in those 30-day nights in fucking Alaska because the fucking skyscrapers are just blocking everything.
Yeah, man. Even the sunniest fucking day in New York feels like you've been in a cryo chamber for 40 years begging to be let out. It's fucking insane.
Yep. Yeah, it is insane.
All right, I got one more question if I have time for it. If not, it's all right.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, so I've just been thinking about, like, in terms of ethics, because a lot of people, they're fucking oriented around their ethics, and that's like the moral high ground that they try to take. When they realize that they're a nobody and they have no heroic mission, like the cowardly, pathetic thing to do, and it's like everyone's trump card is just take solace in the fact that you're more moral than everyone. But really, I realized when it comes to having a heroic mission, the idea of ethics just works completely differently. Like, it's a very independent, individual form of ethics. It's not universal. What is better for the universe? It's like you can do things that are textbook immoral if you were to go into a fucking ethics book, but when you truly connect it to the entire plan of what you're doing, not necessarily planning, but the entire motive that you have, lying to somebody, let's say in sales, is like almost moral in the sense because you needed to lie to that person to provide them with the product that you have that they need. So when you take control in another person's fucking life, even if it's something that if they had full consciousness of what you were doing, they'd think it's immoral, it's almost moral. You get what I'm getting at?
I don't disagree with you at all. I think there's a lot of accuracy in what you're saying. The thing about
Gotcha.
being a man too, the thing about being a man too, this is like the real beauty and fucking pleasure of being a man, is that you can beeline it to the top as a man. You can try to speed run it. You're gonna get blown to smithereens a couple times here and there, but like eventually when you get to the summit and you have money, power, status, all that good stuff that we're all in search of, and you have power, the beauty of being a man is that everything that you fucked up along the way, all the damage that was created, because there's always collateral damage when someone's on the path to success, and it's not intentional, but there's this collateral damage when you're the fucking guy in the driver's seat, of course. You know what I mean? The side of the bus is gonna get scuffed. That's just how it works. And so the beauty of getting to that platform, of just getting up there, is that you get to go back and you get to patch together and fix all the damage that was created and take care of the people that you hurt along the way. And you can bless them 10 times over than they were blessed before you came into the picture. And I think that that redemption arc is one of the sweetest things that should keep like depressed men that are fucking down on themselves, knowing that that's possible, knowing that I'm talking about on any level, even people that you said mean things to, relationships that had to fall apart or disappear. You get to go back. And I'll tell you this, as a man, the sweetest part, even the like the fucking the star on top of the Christmas tree here, is that once you do have that kind of power as well, I'll tell you this, the best part is all the women that you skipped along the way because you were too focused on your work and mission, you can go back and get them like literally with a snap of a fucking finger. You can pull them out of any situation. You can go back to high school chicks that you missed along the way. Literally, you can go back as deep as you want. If that's something that your heart desires and you want to go back and get a chick that you like glossed over, it's so easy to do it once you get to a level of status and power and you have bread. Like you can literally just go back and fucking just get all the Easter eggs, all the social glitches, all those things that you missed. You can go back and go collect all those fucking points to complete the fucking trip ditch, to make the project complete, to complete the fucking trilogy. And so that is like something that people should always compartmentalize in the back of your head, is like people always beat themselves up about the opportunities they squandered and fumbled. I've never seen a man get to the top of the platform and not be able to go back and fucking get the things he missed. Never seen that happen in my entire life. Especially true for the warlord types that I talk about, where if you were in like mad love with a woman when you were really young and you guys had a super fiery, passionate relationship and you were on your mission and your mission caused a rupture in the relationship and you guys had to separate, there are certain types of love in women that are so powerful for a man. Usually it's like one of the first men that he dated, or this type of personality that I'm talking about, that kind of corsair type of personality. That guy can literally snap a finger if he wanted to and pull that woman out of any relationship. Like she could literally have 4 kids and be fucking married, and if he really wanted to, he could make a phone call and she'd leave to go be with him.
Dude, 100%. It's insane. It's like once you've got the full actualized path of the heroic mission, it's just there's no such thing as a limited edition or like a ticking time bomb on the thing that you want to grab. It's just the world literally stands still for you in every sense of the word.
Brother,
Crazy.
one of the best things to imagine in your life is going back and filling fucking people's stockings like it's fucking Christmas morning. You know what I'm saying? Go back and just fill up motherfuckers' stockings. You can fucking rain down gifts, money, fucking help all the people that fucking sat there as a staircase for you and helped you climb up to the top. Even when you didn't have the facility or maybe the financial means at the time to repay it, you can always go back and you can fill those fucking stockings. You know what I'm saying? And make a world tour out of it. I just have always, the greatest men in the world go do that, by the way. Once they make it, they go back and they sweep up the entire mess and they make everything whole. And there's a richness to that. There's a richness to that that ironically money cannot buy, which is the kind of the funny part. Like you have to get there first. And so that's like that should be every motherfucker's motivation to keep pushing. Cause you always get the mulligan. You always get the redo. You can always go back and fucking patch it up and make it right. And look, there's some people who will never forgive you. There's some people who definitely will hold a grudge for the rest of their life, but there's a cleanliness and a purity and a sanitization from making the effort and going back and doing it with compunction in your heart, and doing it from a genuine place of sorrow sorrow, because there's a lot of fucking pain that is accumulated and endured on that path, man. Like I just and to go back to my initial point, I know you missed this on the space. We were talking about the function and utility of pain in the beginning of the spaces. The thing that pain is really good for, and the one thing that it absolutely does do, the one real benefit of suffering and pain, is it does create the aura. Anybody who has a strong, magnificent, magnetic aura has been through a tremendous amount of suffering. That's not debatable. Um, what it also does is it builds character, for sure. Being able to endure a tremendous amount of pain. I mean, I've said this before, and it's worth mentioning again. The death of the artist is when he becomes happy. The death of the artist is when he becomes genuinely happy, because then he can no longer produce. Like when you are in a state of suffering, that's when everybody produces their best work.
Dude, 100%.
That's when everybody produces their best work. And so a lot of people get over the suffering and they get over the hump and they realize how vapid and vacuous their life is, and they hate it and they want to go back. And that's why pain is so addictive. One of the fucking funniest things, man, is there's an interesting syzygy between suffering and bliss, where when you're blissful, you forget about how bad everything was. And when you're at rock bottom, you forget about the good times. And both are incorrect, but there is a crazy thing about life. Like you could literally be in the trenches, suffering and dying for 10 years, grinding, and then hit payoff space. And when you hit payoff space, it is incredible how fast the human body forgets about everything that just happened. Like you all know, like once you get that first dub, that's a huge dub, you literally forget about all the suffering that you had, like almost instantaneously.
100%. Dude, I've felt that before. It's just like, it's this godly tunnel vision. The moment you're in the fucking good times,
Yeah, you look back at it
shut
and you're like,
off
that wasn't
any
so
sort of
bad.
memory of the bad times. And then the fucking opposite is true. When you're good, like, I hate being in the state where you feel like, oh, fulfilled and happy. You got to kind of keep yourself in check, because your key card to the vault of creativity and fucking just drive and passion just gets 100% embargoed. You can't afford to be 100% happy as a man with any sort of forward vision and mission whatsoever. That full fulfilled space is just, it's hellish. Your key card is completely embargoed. They're like, you no longer have access to the VIP vault. You're in Bumville now.
100%, man. It's just no one's ever been able to crack this code. I mean, the smartest among us, the most talented among us have never been able to crack this thing in human nature where it is the Faustian bargain. You do have to exchange power for happiness. And that is, those two things absolutely are not a covalent relationship. There's no covalency there. It is an exchange, it is a barter. They are on the table, and those are counter scales. When power goes up, happiness diminishes. When happiness goes up, power diminishes. You see this in every single form and walk of life, from the highest ladders of politics to the lowest rungs of just interpersonal relationships. And I think a lot of men fundamentally understand this, like deep in their core. It kind of resonates to your bones. You know when you have the most power over your life, there's just no happiness there.
100%, man. And
Dude, just before I get off, because I know I'm taking off a lot of time, but I do have a practical question I need to ask you. Um, so
Go
I'm
for it.
18 and my girl's having a kid, and there's no fucking way that I'm gonna let my kid become like a Goyslop mutant, where he's getting just absolutely like becoming impotent through all of this big food bullshit. And I know that you have your girl on a specific diet and the home birth. Like I'm doing the home birth. There's no way that I'm letting this shit become some industrialized, you know, just nerfing my kid of any potential he has for health. So, do you have any tips when it comes to just the home birth environment? Like, is the diet of just straight up like meat like too much for women? Does it differ? Like the diet that you do, is that too much for women or like?
Yeah, so I've tweaked it multiple ways. I've been through this twice, and I saw it. I obviously saw them all the way through to their conclusion. So like one thing I've noticed is that I've never really met a woman who can do super well on low carb for long term. So I think women need a little bit more carbs. What I did in both cases for both my kids is I had her do, extremely meat based. So obviously just really high quality grass finished meat for basically every meal. And then as an adjunct to that, fruit was acceptable. And then some, light dairy here and there, heavy organic whipping cream, shit like that, just to get a little bit of dairy fat, get some K2 from the butter,
God,
stuff. So like basically a little bit of dairy, raw, of
of
course,
course.
high quality meat and fruit seems to do the trick. White rice is the most inoffensive carb by far. It's a great fucking carb source. The problem is it's super easy for chicks to OD on it, and they get fat as fuck when they gorge on white
Yeah,
rice. So it just has to be portioned properly. But yeah, they're gonna need a lot of fucking glucose during pregnancy for sure. Those demands do increase. By the way, that whole pregnancy craving thing about women craving, fucking orange juice and cereal and fucking crazy foods that are not compatible, that's all
yeah,
nonsense. If a woman's on a good diet and metabolically healthy, she definitely ain't gonna be craving like pancakes cakes with fucking ketchup.
yeah.
That's all bullshit. Any woman who like is telling you she wants that has a super fucked up metabolism.
1,000,000%, man. I appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna make sure just like grass finished beef, like no fucking exceptions when it comes to that. Raw dairy, kefir should be good.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I've kind of pivoted on dairy a little bit because I've just been doing some self experimentation. I don't actually do not respond well to dairy at all. I like advise very small doses of it. I just think dairy is super fucking inflammatory. There's a lot of issues with it. I'm doing a deep dive. This guy Thor Torrens on
Oh
Twitter
yeah,
is a
I like.
fucking he's a savant when it comes to this type of shit. I've been in contact with him, so I'm running some fucking harsh experiments on my own body, but I am slowly coming to the conclusion that dairy is destructive for everybody on some level.
Alrighty,
But again, the dose is in the poison. The poison is in the dose.
got you. All right, cool. So basically, what Thor Torrance says should be good, like anti-vitamin A. What about the beans and shit? Do you have any perspective on that? Because I know that he's been.
Yeah, I mean, look, I grew up when I was doing my deep dives on nutrition 20 years ago. I had read extensive peer-reviewed research that said that soluble fiber was bullshit. But I've been experimenting with the low vitamin A thing for a couple months, and I think I'm there. I think I've hit enlightenment. I really think I kind of cracked this. My performance is just off the chain right now, and I'm even adding in carbs. I used to be strict carnivore. I'm doing like some white rice and shit with my meat,
Got you.
and it's working fantastically right now.
All right, awesome. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate everything as always.
Yep. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yo, by the way, fellas, I'm doing an expansion pack on my actual private group. Hit me up in my DMs. We're doing a very, very personal deep dive. These conversations that we're having in there, these private spaces, we do a couple a week. They're not timed at all. It's not like I fucking, just put a cap on you time wise. As soon as you have a need, you hit me up and we can jump on a fucking call. And we're doing some real work in there. What was the price? I think it was six grand for 3 months. So we're doing an expansion pack. I'm trying to get some fresh blood in here and get some more motion to the tribe. And yeah, so just DM me and I can pop you in there. We're gonna be doing a private show tomorrow. And I got all different walks of life in there. I got fucking CEOs, I got MMA fighters, I got fucking firefighters, athletes. It's a whole medley of motherfuckers. But the thing is it's a choose your own adventure experience. You can come into the spaces and you can just listen, kick back, put your feet up. You don't really even have to participate. But if you're serious about applying philosophy to the real world, then this is 100% the group for you, because I'm going to push you. And I pretty much, I don't want to say I'm a glorified babysitter, but I spend as much time with my guys as I possibly can to make sure we get your mind right. So that's something that's available to the public. Take another question here. Let's get Jaime up. Yo, Jaime.
Hey, how's it going, bro? I have a very specific
Talk to us.
question. I recently saw a reply that you post on Twitter that people are addicted to pain. So I recently um, experienced like a really bad relationship, mainly because I ignored like many red flags. And at first, I was like, I don't want to date more chicks, and like I'm going to be abstinent and all that shit. And then after some time happened, I started to go out again and start to meet more women. And now I'm like, I want to go back in the game. Even if I get burned, like I don't give a fuck if the girl is like too red flag for me or whatever. Like I just want to. I don't know if it's something like I have to prove to myself, like I can go back again, or maybe it's that thing that you mentioned. But it's weird because like yeah, I'm not usually like seeking a good girl, to say it like that. Like I just want to have like more experience and more fun, and even though that could mean just choosing like a bad partner.
Exactly. That was my whole fucking point of the post about why people are addicted to pain. I mean, look, 99% of people recreate bad relationships. 99% of people are actually trying to find a clone of the first partner that they struggled with. That's just how life motherfucking works. Everybody's in on some kind of treasure hunt for that kind of familiarity. That's how humans are fucking wired. And so I think it's a good thing, man. That's what I told this 18-year-old motherfucker. I was like, dude, you number one, your world is tiny right now, so I understand why you think this chick's the only one, but the world is fucking massive. And I do think being with those psycho chicks for stints in time is going to give you the keys to the kingdom. 100%. You got to learn how to fucking wrestle with the female mind. You have to. That's like a prerequisite for anything. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these rich dudes who didn't date while they were building their business, this is where they get stung the hardest, because they get a lot of money and they end up kind of gold digger types, and those girls absolutely ravage them to the bone. They're fucking hyenas. They're gonna fucking absolutely fucking devour you if you don't have the skill set to kind of parry and repost and do a fencing match with a woman psychologically. So yeah, it's just game over after a while. So this is why I'm saying, man, like you gotta be able to juggle all of this shit on the mission. You got to be able to do it all. You got to wear every fucking hat imaginable. You got to date. You got to have this experience. You got to take this shot over here. Like you have to literally do it all. You have to be a renaissance man when you're on the mission. If you start fucking making incisions and dissecting things and taking things out of the equation, thinking you're going to go back and get that experience later, you're wrong. Like those gaps can be filled, but you're just in for a horror show. You're just in for a horror show. I'll tell you this, man. I believe you're actually going to see crypto psychiatry become a very popular vein coming up here, because a lot of the untold damage being done to these young guys who are making monster amount of money with crypto from their computer, that don't date women, that don't have any life experience. The untold damage to the psyche is going to come to a point where these guys are going to need serious fucking consultation and mental health. It's coming. It's coming. I mean, I've got guys in my DMs literally every day for the past 2 weeks that I've been talking to, guys that have ran up huge bags and are literally suicidal. They're thinking about blowing their fucking brains out every day because they just don't know what to do with the money. They have nobody. They have nobody in their life. They're completely solo, and they just have all this cash in their hand. So it's a tragedy, and I think you're gonna find that a lot of these motherfuckers, there's gonna be a whole new fucking branch of psychology dealing with this money. Because let's be real, everybody's becoming a degenerate gambler. Everybody. There's a mass exodus from the middle. Everyone's like, fuck this. I'm fed up with the fucking wage. I'm fed up with selling my time. So everyone's putting up shots now. And so what you're gonna start seeing, and you already do see it in America, is you're gonna see a lot of people walking around from flying so high, from flying so fucking high. And obviously that's not central to America now because crypto's global. But the point is that once you fly that fucking high and you come down from it, uh,
Okay.
so yeah,
So you
date the psycho chicks. Absolutely, date the psychos for
okay?
sure.
Well,
Have a
okay.
blast.
Thanks.
Have a blast because that's gonna put more fucking armor in your toolkit than anything else.
Great. Thanks.
And they're the best, by the way. I endorse psycho chicks. I love psycho chicks. Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a very interesting experience.
Well, because they ain't psycho with me. That's my point.
Yeah. So you think like when you know how to
So
wrestle with those chicks?
here's the thing. I never have my whole life. I've never attracted those fucking psycho crazy chicks. I think they take one look at me in my fucking pupils and they just know I'm not the one to play with. Those girls literally skip right over me. I don't fuck with them. They don't fuck with me. It's a very harmonic type of fucking relationship. We don't fuck with each other whatsoever. I've only attracted very, very delightful, angelic, cherubic women in my life. Always. Because those manipulative psycho women, they're looking for marks. They're out here scalping the fucking noodle on motherfuckers who are rich in crypto, who have no life experience. They're looking to run a train on your ass. But when they look you in the eye and they can see the whole fucking geography, the whole stratigraphy of your life story in your fucking eyeball, you know what I'm saying? That smoky little fucking story that's in your fucking pupils. They just know instantaneously, like, he ain't the one. He's not going to be fun to play with. Because, I fight back. And so I just think you get to a place where your aura starts to just absolutely repel the wrong kind of women. And I've always been fortunate to have that. So that's sort of the fun part about dating those chicks in the beginning is you'll kind of see like how far they're gonna push and test you, and then instinctually, because those women are literally preying on weak animals. That's what they do. That's the goal. Those types of women specifically are preying on extremely weak, susceptible, innocent, naive men, and they're looking to run a fucking frigate through you. And you see this every day. So if you're napalm against that shit and you're cyanide against those types of women, you're doing something correct.
All right then. Thanks.
Yep. Peace.